Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Today, I want to talk a bit about accelerated FX and why on-chain and Web3 and blockchain is the perfect technology actually for FX and FX trading. In the end, FX is also a really, really interesting market. Before in other panels, we had heard already about credit, for example. Credit in terms of size is the second largest market in the world. And then FX market in terms of trading volume is by far the largest market in the world. The Bank for International Settlements estimates around $7.5 trillion volume every day in the foreign exchange market. So if we only get a fraction of this on chain would actually be really, really, really useful. But actually, this technology is also useful for this market, and this market can actually benefit from the technology, and that's what I want to talk a bit about today. Mento is an on-chain FX platform. Check us out. Mento already has 15 different currencies live, all the G7 currencies from Japanese yen to euro to dollar, and then more exotic currencies, including Kenyan shilling, Philippine peso, and so on. But the most important part of Mento is it allows users to swap at the FX rate. And we are also integrating many other stablecoins from other stablecoin providers. The challenges of the FX market in the end are, for example, high barriers to entry. Not everyone can access the FX market everywhere. So if you're, for example, in Kenya and you're doing business with Ghana, it's really hard to go from a Kenyan shilling to a Ghanaian cedi because there's no direct market between these two currencies. You have to go actually via the dollar. And in the traditional FX market, it also doesn't work 24/7, which is ridiculous. It's the largest market in the world and doesn't work 24/7. And the settlement times typically are super long. So if you have a T+2 settlement and you need to go from a Kenyan shilling first to the dollar and then to a Ghanaian cedi, you're already at 4 days, except there's a holiday or weekend in between. So it's actually really long. Also in DeFi, infrastructure is not ready yet for institutional FX markets. AMMs are not built for mirroring off-chain prices. The price of euro in dollars or the yen in British pound is determined in the interbanking market, is determined off-chain. In an AMM, the price is determined via the ratio between two assets in two pools. Therefore, basically, to get the price of an AMM to the off-chain FX price, there has to be a lot of arbitrage trading so that these two match. And therefore, in the end, on-chain infrastructure is not ready yet for bringing actually FX on-chain, and this is something we are building for to improve this. This is maybe also the reason why local currencies on-chain are seeing low adoption so far. There's not like very efficient markets for a Kenyan shilling on-chain. There's not a lot of efficient markets for Japanese yen on-chain as well. We're trying to unlock the power of on-chain FX by building infrastructure directly for that and building open infrastructure where we actually can integrate any other stablecoin as well in that infrastructure by allowing users to exchange at the FX rate. We're building on the EVM. We are building basically that you can access these markets around the clock, that you can access these markets in a permissionless way if you need to, that you actually can use the same infrastructure for FX trading no matter where you are in the world. That is the beauty of blockchain technology, and therefore we think it's actually a perfect match to use blockchain to bring FX trading on-chain. And I mentioned it before, FX is the largest market in the world. 30% of that $7.5 trillion trading volume is actually spot market volume. 30% of that spot market volume is actually non-bank and non-financial institution volume. These are actually these actors that, for example, having a business in Kenya and want to do business with Ghana and can't find basically a bank that offers them a direct link between the two currencies. And this is exactly, I would say, the obtainable or obtainable market that we are after, basically bringing infrastructure on-chain that these trades can happen on-chain 24/7 with instant settlement at low prices. compared to basically what already exists, there is like first projects that work in the FX infrastructure space in the market. There's also a lot of different stablecoins already live. What we want to bring in the end to market is, or what we are already bringing to market and what is already live is in the end the combination between this FX infrastructure that allows users to swap at the exchange rate and access to many different currencies. The Mento currencies that include all these 15 G7 and non-G7 currencies, and we are also integrating many others like USDT, USDC, because they just have so high liquidity that users also want to get access to them. With this, we not only can actually allow for more efficient FX trading, with this we not only can allow, for example, a market maker that makes a book in Bitcoin to Japanese yen to offset their Japanese yen exposure on chain. With this, we can actually unlock many other use cases that we are really excited about. And many of these use cases have been discussed today before. I mean, we've talked here on this stage already about cross-border payments, remittances, but there's also hedging, FX hedging, derivatives. There's local currency borrowing, lending. If you think about these entrepreneurs in Kenya, that actually they have a preference to get a loan in their local currency, because when you're an entrepreneur, your revenues are in local currency. So you have to pay back that loan in the same currency. Otherwise, you hold the FX risk. So micro lending, for example, is also an interesting market for these local currency use cases international. And then, of course, international trade financing, everything that comes with it is a perfect use case for that as well. We dive deeper into all of this in the next panel, so we can talk more about and then maybe also go into a few more questions on FX. This was just a primer. We are working on Mento and want to bring FX trading on chain for the whole ecosystem. So feel free to check us out. That's my 7 minutes. Thank you very much. And